Hello to you. It's week 44. It's the 9th of October. I'm not going to lie to you, I am coming to you in retrospect because I went to New Zealand and Australia for 2.5 weeks and I didn't take all my camera equipment with me. And the reason being now is that the new iPhone is just so amazing. This little piece of equipment, it's a perfect video camera. It can literally take everything in terms of the pictures of the buildings I look at as well as the videos. I must admit, for the weekly reviews, I prefer to keep them all on this camera so that I can upload them to my iMac Mini, etc, etc. So I'm doing them in retrospect, but it's fine because it's from my diary and what I learned. So for me, what did I learn on the 9th of October, week 44? What were the lessons basically? Well, the first one was the Blom event. It's the very first time I've ever done business in Blom. It was the W sales event up there. I have to say that it was a bit of a surprise. We arrived. I should have gone the night before. I didn't. I kind of just relied on things to work. And when I arrived in the morning, it was absolute chaos. It was a tiny little room, sort of no more than, say, 4 meters long by 3 meters wide. We had 10 people in there. There was no screen. There was no projector. It was an absolute disaster. And to be honest, it's a classic example of, what we do in South Africa, Boermarker plan. Everyone was running around. We eventually made a plan. We got a projector. We managed to fit everyone in. But I'll be honest with you, I wasn't happy. It doesn't send the message, the type of branding that we're looking for with regards to this course. But it's a lesson learned. The people enjoyed it. The other tough thing was that they actually drove through from a long way away from Blom, and they left at 2 a.m. in the morning, and to try and do a full day workship on top of a 6 to 8 hour drive is just impossible. But anyway, my first experience in Blom. I'm sure we'll be going back, but a lot of tough lessons learned. The second thing was Roger Hamilton. I joined his Crystal Circle. We actually had our first telephone interaction. It was absolutely fantastic. I learned a hell of a lot. I got inspired. The thing I like most is that you're learning from other entrepreneurs around the world, and you're learning from Roger, who's been there, he's done that. And my whole belief in terms of modeling, of go out there, find the best, copy them so that you can get the same results. And in terms of my whole fascination with globalization and the way the world's going global, I really think that he's someone that I'm very interested in terms of what he's doing and the fellow entrepreneurs that he's working with around the world. I had a bit of a challenge then in Blom. I went to the airport and there was a delay, and then there was another delay, and I went along and I said to them, look, I'm actually presenting tonight, I've got to get home. And they were like, mate, this is the last plane back to Cape Town. So it reminds you of how small Blom actually is. But I tell you, those SIA attendants, I wish they could go on a course on customer service. They were absolutely horrendous. Just prior to 3 o'clock, I suddenly found out there was another plane taking off, and I went along and asked them, and they were like, oh yeah, no, there's another plane at 3. And I was like, why didn't you ask me to put me on standby? And they were like, oh no, it's full now. And I nearly could have punched someone basically, but unfortunately I suppose when you're dealing in these small towns, so it is a cost analysis benefit I'm going to have to do with Blom, because it's hard to get there, it's hard to get home, it's expensive, and I'm not sure if it's worth it, but we'll have to watch the space in terms of where we're doing. One of the excitements of this week was actually running the webinar on creating lasting change. It took some of the technology and the scientific approaches of what Tony Robbins teaches. Everyone goes on courses, they read books, but how do you actually create lasting change? And I put it all together in a webinar so that those people that have been on the W Sales course and all the coaching clients that I've got could actually go out and I could give them something tangible so that they could understand why they make short-term and long-term decisions, why they could understand where they're coming from, how they do it, why they do it, so that they could make the right decisions long-term, so that they could get the results that they want long-term. And we had fascinating feedback with regards to it. So it's certainly a webinar that I think I'll be creating and redoing on a number of basis. Then on Thursday morning we had the scan. We were very happy to find out we had a healthy little baby, but we also went to find out we had got a little boy. So quite interesting enough, Kelly and I have named our boy. I'm not going to tell you now, we'll keep that as a bit of a secret, but I will tell you that I was a bit disappointed to actually go and find out that the name Picken.com was actually taken. And so we've renamed the child. We've come up with a different name because the .com, as I've said to you, is so important, I believe, in terms of where we are. But anyway, we've got a classic name for our little boy. So, we look forward to him and the excitement that he'll bring. I have to say there's quite a lot of trepidation from my side as to what it'll mean to our life and what it actually means. Then on Friday, I flew to Oz. Very excited about it. A lot of hard work that needs to be done, plus a bit of a holiday. But sure, I won't ever be doing that again. It was a 36-hour flight, and that's not time zones. That's actually flying in airports. It was 3 times more expensive to fly directly to Sydney. So I went via Dubai, and I actually flew Cape Town, Dubai, Singapore, Sydney, Brisbane. No, the other way. Singapore, Brisbane, Brisbane, Sydney. Sleeping in airports and an absolute disaster. I had to get off at all those airports and really wasn't much fun. But from a productive point of view, the beauty is these new aeroplanes, you can actually plug your power in on your laptop. So I really got a tremendous amount of work done, which was absolutely fantastic because you've got no interruptions, no cell phones. Although funny enough, your cell phone does actually work. You can send text messages on the new planes. So it's really quite exciting in terms of where technology is going. And then the last one, I arrived on Sunday morning in Sydney. I managed to catch a taxi through to my friend's house. I was absolutely shattered. I had 5 or 6 hours sleep. I woke up, felt completely hungover in terms of, disorientated and sleep and all that. But it was time to watch the Springboks play Australia. And we'd bet bigger. Myself and my friend had literally bet, on bet big, going to the semis, going to the final. Henny, one of my top friends and investors, was doing the same thing. And the three of us were watching this game at my friend's house. He had 2 Australians, including his father-in-law, who's an Australian. And I say, it was just one of those things in rugby. It was just an absolute tragedy how we lost that game. 75% possession, 70% territory or whatever it was. All the stats in our favour. But, it was just one of those days where everything went against us. The refs' calls went against us. Brosseau got injured. But, for me, that's the metaphor. And I've been asking my coaching clients, what is the difference or what is the similarities actually between the Springboks and most business people? Think about it for a little while. What are the similarities between the Springboks and most business people? Well, I think there's 3 things. Firstly, they didn't get the result. And when they didn't get the results, they wanted to blame other people. They wanted to blame the environment. And at the end of the day, that's just what business people are doing. They want to blame other people. They want to blame the economic environment. But at the end of the day, you've got to take control for your destiny. There's fantastic opportunities out there at the moment. And just like the Springboks, with that amount of possession, they should have won. They should have dominated no matter what the ref said. So I'll leave you with this week. But I have to say that Sunday, I had a very, very heavy heart. I lay in bed. I could not sleep. I seriously considered cancelling the whole trip. I didn't see how my pregnant wife was going to do that 30-hour flight. I had jet lag. I had depression because the Springboks were out the World Cup. All my dreams had been shattered in terms of what I wanted to expect from the rugby. So it was a pretty topsy-turvy week. And certainly, I won't be going to another World Cup and only betting on the semis. I'll certainly be making sure that I include the quarters. But that's all from this week. Cheers.